Hey guys, it's Nathandis. You want to know what's been on my mind lately? Just how people in general have so much duality within them. I'm talking the good side, the bad side, and how the majority of us tend to gravitate somewhere in the middle. We all have our vices, sure, and some of us are more saintly than others, and some are more evil. And then there's some people that you may think are good, but they are really just skilled at hiding their dark side. And some of them slip up. Some of them get caught. Today we're going to be looking at some art, and a lot of it is quite beautiful, made by the hands of people who've done some not so beautiful things, like murder, serial killing sprees. And looking at some of these, who would have even thought that those same hands that created something so good could be so inherently evil at the same time? It's duality, I guess. Henry Lee Lucas. It was the year 1960 when Lucas had stabbed his mother in the neck during an argument in the middle of their kitchen. At that time, he was just 23 years old. He had went to jail for that murder, but he was paroled 10 years later due to overpopulation in the jails. It was around this time that he had found a sidekick, a new friend by the name of Otis Toole. Aside from Toole's confession to being a cannibal, he's best known for the murder of Adam Walsh, the missing son of America's Most Wanted show host, John Walsh. Otis Toole had a 15-year-old niece. Her name was Frida Powell, also known as Becky, and in 1982, Henry Lee Lucas killed her too. Does anyone remember about that Jane Doe orange socks case that went unsolved for the longest time? She was a girl who was killed Halloween night in 1979. They found out her real name was Deborah Jackson. Lucas confessed to killing her as well, along with hundreds and hundreds more. Even though nothing ended up linking him to any of his confessions, after a while it was believed that everything he said, all the confessions he made, were purely for attention. What do you think? And what do you think of some of Lucas's art? Have you ever wondered who the inspiration for the movie Scream was? Well, it was this guy, Danny Rawling. He would camp in the Florida woods and watch his victims, peering through their window as they had family dinners, talked, and went about their daily routines. In 1990, he snuck into a home and killed the Grissom family, including an 8-year-old boy. Rawling also murdered and mutilated 5 college students within a 4-day time frame. He was pretty busy, and when he wasn't stabbing people, he was robbing banks, which he was originally arrested for. And it was only later, while in police custody for theft, did they find out who he really was. Danny Rawling, he's the Gainesville Ripper, and this is his art. Rod Ferrell, aka the Vampire Cult Killer. Although Ferrell denies such a cult ever existed, he's a self-proclaimed vampire who has dubbed himself with the nickname Vasago. After quitting school at 16, Ferrell and his friends, who shared the same interests as he did, would peruse the cemetery at all hours, taking turns drinking each other's blood in a ritual they called crossing over.
Crossing over, also known as the embrace, is the point where someone comes from the mundane society of being a regular individual and then is accepted into a vampiric family.
One of his crossover friends had complained to him about the constraints of her parents, and Rod took it upon himself to do something about the situation. On the night of November 25th, 1996, Rod crept into the house where his friend Heather lived with her parents. He bludgeoned the father, Richard Wendorf, with a crowbar and stabbed Heather's mom, Noma Queen. Ferrell burned the letter V into the body of Wendorf and then went on the run for 3 days, eventually getting arrested in Louisiana. Ferrell was sentenced to the electric chair, but has since been committed to life in prison. He just went up for parole about a year ago and was denied. Rod Ferrell still claims he's a vampire to this very day.
To some people, less than man, and to others, perhaps more than man, is also a seduction. To become past the norm of existence, to push the envelope and break the boundaries. Vampirism plays its part in my life as it ever has.
And this is his art. Ed Gein. Dearly devoted to his mother, Ed Gein never left home or dated any women. After his mother's death in 1945, he became more and more unhinged. Ed Gein made a living as a handyman and continued to do so throughout the years as more and more people in his town began disappearing. November 16th, 1957, one of those missing townspeople was Bernice Worden. Gein made a victim of her, and this would be his downfall. She would be the one who would bring to light all of his horrors. Bernice's son was the sheriff and had suspected Gein of nefarious activities. Soon, authorities would raid Ed Gein's home, and what they found shocked them. The horror that unfolded before them scared them to the core. Bernice Worden's headless body hanging from the ceiling, skulls laying about. Some skulls were even used as bowls. And there were miscellaneous body parts in jars all over the home. Upon Ed Gein's arrest, he confessed to the killing of multiple people. As for the rest of the body parts and appendages strewn about, well, he admitted to being a grave robber, digging up and stealing the corpses that held resemblance to his mother. He would make masks and suits to wear over their skin, and even upholster some chairs in his house with human skin. These evil deeds inspired the Psycho movie, Leatherface and Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and also the notorious Buffalo Bill from Silence of the Lambs.
It rubs the lotion on its skin or else it gets the hose again.
Ed Gein was institutionalized at Mendota Mental Health Institute and died of natural causes in July 26, 1984. And this is his art. That's all for right now, guys. Thanks for watching, and if you like this video, be sure to subscribe.